Alright guys, welcome to this episode and understanding how cryptocurrency works, and we provide you with the tools so you don't need to depend on other people online. Um, Tonight we're going to go through these 9 trades to see where they're sitting, if they're bullish or bearish, and if you see that I did not hit your stock or something, just let me know on the bottom and we'll see if we can hit them on the next video. Alright, so the first one we're going to start with will be with ADA, which will be Cardano. And I like to use what's called the Ichimoku system with EMA moving averages, and it kind of helps me gauge the market very quickly and see where they're heading. Once we took the big dip there, not too many days back, it kind of tested this area, which if you look into history, it seemed to was always been very comfortable sitting in this range between $1.35 and 98 cents. And then of course it took a nice little run to the upside at 240, 245, and then it came down by 50%, which now is sitting in this nice range of between 190 and 135. So it's kind of in a range right now, and it's kind of getting a lot of signals here, which is kind of bearish, but also it's got a lot of bullish sentiment as well. So it's kind of where it's above in a bull market, and then it falls but underneath it was in the bear. And so it's not really going up or down, and if it does decide to go below the 135, it just comes in and there's enough sentiment there that it pushes it right back up. So it comes in, if there's any buyers there, it will grab it, and it's this right on top. So right now it seems to be very comfortable sitting between 135 and 190. So can it break the 190? Until it does that, it's really just going to be sitting there in a range back and forth until it does something. Now, we don't want to see it drop below that, but at least we do know that there's plenty of support holding at around the 135. Okay. Going to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, unfortunately, it is definitely in a really downtrend right now. Even though it dipped and it hit this area about the 33,000, and there are some sentiment buyers there, and it keeps pushing it up to the upside. I have the 3 EMAs pushing to the downside. This stock is definitely being pushed down. Even if it does do a run, it is going to hit the my 150 EMA line there, and it's probably going to be pushed back down. Breaking through this cloud was pretty cool because at least it was a pretty thin cloud to get through. If it is up there and it can get above my EMA 150, it might have a chance, but chances are it will still keep playing around this area until it gets a nice momentum to the upside. But it's been sitting there for a while, since May 19th, since it dipped down, and it's been kind of sitting there trying to fight to stay above the 33. So as long as it stays above here, we should be okay. And if it can break above the 39, it should be healthy. It should stay above it. But otherwise, it will bounce back down, and it will come back down into the 33 to find some more buyers before it pushes back up again. So it's not bullish at all. Right now it's kind of like bearish being pushed down at the moment. All right, we'll see what the next couple of days brings on that one. All right, going to Ethereum. A lot of these stocks are kind of sitting there in a range. Same thing with this one. It's been trying to break above the 2800. It's been touching like 3 times trying to get up there, but it keeps getting weaker and weaker, so it is falling underneath it. There is some bearish sentiments here, so it might fall back down to the 1900s where it bought some sentiment and pushed it back up. So unfortunately, this is not the best time to be buying into it if you're thinking about buying, because most likely it'll fall down unless it can break the 2800 line. Then it'll start pushing up. But other than that, it's got a lot of bearish sentiments to it. If you have anything on HNT, that Helium, it's extremely bearish at the moment. But again, it's another one that's it's inside the $18 and the $10, and it kind of is playing in that area right now. But it does have a lot of support in the $10 range, where if it dips there, it gets pushed right back up, because there's buyers sitting there. At the moment, it is being pushed to the downside, so unless it can break above the $15, chances are it will bounce back down and it will find a lower low at the moment. But at least the good thing is that it will stay within this range between $18 and $10 for right now. All right, HNT, and we have anything money in Mana. Mana, same thing. There's a lot of pushing to the downside. It's in a bear area. If it does make any moves to the 78 cents, it will be most likely bounce back down. If it does break above that into the 86, 85 cents, the chances are it's going to be pushed back down again into the 60 cents range, where it seems to be buying, picking up a lot of sentiment down there and pushing it back up. So as long as it doesn't break the 60 cents, the 50 cent range, should be okay. But if it is kind of pushing to the downside, unfortunately. So if it does hit and keeps bouncing down and keeps going below 50 cents, then we have to go back and see where it wants to go next. And Matic, Polygon. Alright, so Polygon, it does have some strength to it. It does have some bearish and bullish sentiment, but it is in a downward triangle, which it will most likely, not always, but 60% of the time, it will like to drop. Now, it does not mean that can happen, because it could break above it. Nothing's 100%, but there's a 60% chance that it will break below the $1.30 and come down and start and test the 110, 111, and then get down to the sentiment area that will buy some more to push it back up. But unfortunately, this is a pretty big downtrend that it might be playing down to the 80 cent range, unless it finds the strength to get above the 170, and then it can stay above it and go bullish again. So as of right now, it is touching this line, and as time goes by, it will get getting weaker and weaker, and it will keep going down until it can break above it. All right, Matic, Harmony. We got, if you have anything in one, which is Harmony, it did find some support for a while, but then it broke through. So that means there's another stock here that's sitting in a range. And it does have a bearish sentiment all around, so chances are it might come back to the 6 cents to pick up some more buyers before it stays above it. So it could stay around the 6 cents and 11 cent range till it finds the strength they start going to the upside. But it's got too many things holding it down at the moment, and anything that would have gone up, it lost it. And here's another range, the triangle, ascending triangle, that it could have gone to the upside, but the 40% chance took it down, and it actually stayed below it. It didn't break above it. So nothing is always 100% guaranteed. There's other signals letting you know that this is on a bearish territory. It's going to go down for a little bit and kind of work its way around up and down. All right, next one, Theta. Oops. So Theta, the sentiment is around $6, so it's kind of staying between the $9.75 and the $6 range. If it does drop below, it will find some buyers, but it does have a lot of bullish movement. So chances are it can break above the $9.75 and stay above it and start playing between the $9.75 and the $13 range. It does have a lot of momentum. It is a very bullish stock at the moment, and chances are it should not come back down, because the area that is in right now, it used to be very comfortable back then, because when it was sitting around the $13 range, between $10 and $13, anytime it dipped, it kept being pushed up. Every time it dipped, it kept being pushed up. So it's doing the same thing again, but now it's sitting in a comfortable zone. I believe this is a nice comfortable zone between the $8, $8.30 and $9.60 range. So if it does get above the $9.60, you might be looking at a stock that will be between $9 and $13 for a while. Alright, so Theta, VeChain is next. Alright, so VeChain is being pushed to the downside. Unfortunately, it's in a bear territory, so anything that it picked up today went from 10 cents to 11 cents. It's unfortunately, it's got a lot of things holding it down at the moment. It's been sitting in a range between 13 cents and 9 cents. It does dip down to the 8-cent area to pick up some buyers and some sentiments down there, but then it keeps getting pushed back up immediately. So it's definitely in a comfortable zone. So unless it finds a way to get above the 13 cents and start playing between the 13 and 17 cent range, chances are it will probably stay in this area here for a while or get pushed down. It does have double support, so it could stay above the 9 cents and kind of weigh this thing out. That seems to be where the strength is, and waiting for the time to where it can start running again. Alright guys, if this helped you guys out, leave a comment at the bottom. I'll see you guys in the trading